It's something that I wanted to mention to you guys before we jump into today's video. Something that kind of set the tone for 2017 bull run in Bitcoin and why we're not seeing much volume and momentum right now. I think it's actually fairly simple, but I feel like it's overlooked quite a bit. And I want to answer that very easily with you guys. In 2017, I was able to walk around to almost anyone on my campus, literally anyone, stranger, it could be a teacher, and I could just be like, oh, do you know what Bitcoin is? And the answer would be, yes, I do. And some of them were even like, yeah, I bought the app Coinbase. I downloaded it. It was trending #1. And I bought into the crypto. I bought into Bitcoin. But inevitably, they knew what it was and they were invested in it. The people, the penny boy on the side of the sidewalk, forgot what quote that is. Let me look that up. When the shoeshine boy gives you tips on trading stocks, or in this case, Bitcoin, the market's too good to be true. It's oversaturated and there are way too many people in it. And that's pretty much why the hype came up. This culture right now in 2019 or 2018 or 2017 for that matter, we're very fad based. Things like to take trends, skyrocket up, and then they immediately retrace lower. Now we've seen in 2019, we did have more momentum. We hit like 13 or 14,000 on Bitcoin, and now we're starting to come back down. There's a really good chance we're going to see that movement happen again in 2020. It's going to be smaller, still money to be made, but there's no really big trend. It's not all over the news every day. People aren't trending with it every day, talking about it every day. It's coming back down and it's slowing down. That's pretty much something that you have to look at that I don't feel like a lot of you guys realize. What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we have a ton of important things to discuss with you guys. Probably one of the more important episodes to make on the channel in regards to coming 2020, potentially a bull run or bear run scenario. I want to spend quite a bit of time discussing not only XRP, but Bitcoin as well in regards to this very recent trend we've started to see. Yesterday, we made some pretty good progress in regards to where we could be moving to in 2020. We looked at not only the symmetrical triangle that was forming, but a descending fractal that was forming within Bitcoin, a long-term descending fractal that we've been trending in for quite some time now. We haven't been able to break this, so I do want to spend quite a bit of time today discussing this, as well as looking at XRP's major descending triangle that you can clearly see here on the daily. You can see this massive one that started ever since 2017, all the way back on December of 2017. So I do think we're going to spend quite a bit of time on that as well. And then as you guys saw in the title, what's very interesting right now is that over 5 billion worth of Bitcoin was just moved in minutes. As you guys know, there's a bunch of people on Twitter that basically find and track the Bitcoin market and blockchain when whales decide to buy or sell or move their Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. So I want to spend quite a bit of time discussing that as well, and the potential for whether or not we're really going to be seeing a Bitcoin bull run or bear run, how that will affect the other altcoins, cryptocurrencies, and whether or not we're going to see any sort of progress in 2019, because right now, or sorry, in 2020, because right now it is quite up in the air. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. We're trying to hit 13,000 subscribers, so let's help me get there and maybe we'll do a giveaway. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So guys, yesterday we left off with a very interesting movement. You can see yesterday we targeted the video called Ripple XRP, bull flag confirms breakout. So we were discussing that there was some sort of bull flag forming within Bitcoin. You can see this is the one that I'm referring to, how we had the long flag pull upwards and then the bearish, flag downwards that inevitably is called a bullish flag. And it usually tends to break bullish, but I'm starting to see some very interesting news come alive as we discuss different sorts of articles as well as, other YouTubers making some interesting claims. So I wanted to spend some time discussing that and then trying to figure out my own technical analysis, trying to help you guys better yourself in regards to what could be potentially happening during this upcoming December of 2019. Now, to start, I want to just show you guys a very interesting article. You can see right here that over 5 billion worth of Bitcoin moved in minutes. And you can see right here that we have a couple of Twitter people that are saying that a whale also registered a series of over 10 transactions of over 50,000 Bitcoin, worth over 400 million as the time of the writing this, in the span of 20 minutes, which is absolutely crazy, as we know. So you can see everyone is freaking out that billions of dollars in Bitcoin is being moved, but in reality, the same address constantly moving the same stash, the 55,000 Bitcoin worth 410 million, is now parked in this address. So basically, these guys are tracking, as we know, we don't know who the whale is, but we know where the whale is sending it, and they've seemed to find that the whale is moving from one account to another, one account to another. I don't know what he's trying to signal, but it's also pretty absolutely wild that one person actually has the amount of 55,000 Bitcoin sitting in their account, which is quite a substantial amount. So I found that quite interesting as well. But they're basically talking about whether or not this is the precursor to a bull run for 2019 into 2020. While the uptick in transaction volume seems to be just doing well, exchange things, analysts think that the uptick in Bitcoin's on-chain metrics hint at an impending price bull run. Also, a lot of people are thinking that due to the fact that this whale is moving his crypto, maybe another signal that he maybe think that the bottom is in and we may start to see a movement back to the upside. So basically they're saying that the next macro Bitcoin bull market is near. One of his main reasonings was that Bitcoin's network momentum indicator, which tracks the movement of coins to determine the usage of the network, has begun to trend higher, bouncing off bear market levels. This sometimes often reads 6 to 10 weeks prior to the beginning of a bull market. So I wanted to also share with you guys a very interesting post here. This was on Twitter, and I wanted to share with you how well this actually, analyzes the market for right now. As you guys can see, this is tracked all the way from 2010, back when Bitcoin was literally at less than a penny. And you can just kind of see the way the market is moving in regards to what we're seeing right now. You can see back in around 2012 to 2014, that's the A wave. You can see this is when the potential bull market actually happened. From 2012 into 2014, we started to see the A point into the bull market, bam, right there. Then we saw the retracement lower. This was the first actual bull market in 2012. We saw a then consolidation back down lower, and we saw momentum leading to what was the next bull run in 2016 to 2018. So you can see we had momentum very similar to what we've seen in the past. You can consider this to be the momentum, but this is pretty much after the bull run, the first bull run that we actually had. And then you can see the B bull run, or the B momentum actually triggered a bull market into 2016 to 2018 when we reached extremely high prices. Now this is the Bitcoin network momentum. Now we weren't actually, sorry, you can see this is the price. So you can see the price back here was down to less than a penny, and then we started to swing all the way up to 1,000, and then all the way up to $20,000. This is actually the Coin Metrics Pro. So you can see this is the trends that they're tracking that's under the Bitcoin price, that there's more technical analysis that you can do besides just price reading. So yes, this doesn't signal a lot when you look at just price momentum, but when you see the network momentum by how much is moving around, you'll notice that this does kind of signal bull markets. And the fact that we've had markets like this and movements like this within such a steady move upwards is something to consider. So you can see this started the bull market for B into C, then we fell lower and we started to see momentum once again. Very similarly here, we had this movement, we're seeing this movement right here, and then people are speculating that this B market move right here is the start to the C market move right here. So we could be coming to the end and starting to see the next bull phase into 2020. It's definitely something to consider, and that's why I wanted to spend some time with you guys discussing what exactly I could be anticipating within Bitcoin of 2019 into 2020. So a big thing right now is when to buy and when to invest. And I know this has been a struggle for quite some time now on this channel. The channel's been around for, I think, around a year now. I started in 2018. We've hit all of 2019, and then 2019 into 2020. We're maybe 2 years now. But what I want to consider is the fact that we've seen tons and tons and tons of different movement on the charts. You'll notice within the uptrend of Bitcoin right now, we're starting to see some interesting movements. Not only do we have a major symmetrical triangle that I considered on this chart, and maybe it's not considered a symmetrical triangle. I know a lot of other people have been commenting, reaching out to me, and basically explaining that this isn't what it appears to be. But the reason I'm using this so well is due to the fact that we've had an uptrend. The beginning support that we've actually had within Bitcoin started in February. You can see this is the uptrend that I was tracking, and I've been using this for quite some time now. Eventually, we actually decided to dislodge ourselves from this uptrend right here, and then we started to break away, hitting much higher levels. So what was interesting was as we started to come back down in here, I was almost anticipating that this uptrend would be retested once again. Now, whether or not we're going to continue to use this is going to be something retested very, very, very soon, and that's pretty much going to play a big role in whether or not we're going to be breaking higher or whether or not we're going to see a major bear market into 2020. But regardless, we're going to see that big movement happen very, very, very soon come the end of December. So you can see right now within this uptrend right here, we've been retesting that. We actually saw a retest in November 24th. We actually pulled back down about 2 weeks ago, and we retested this here, basically confirming that this uptrend is still in play on the daily for Bitcoin. And now you can see we're coming back down again to pretty much retest that. Now, one thing's for certain, and one thing is for sure, that we're starting to see resistance right now, not only from what we can consider a downtrend, this purple downtrend, but we can also have the white downtrend that could be the same thing. Now, very similarly, we could just slide this up right here. This is definitely something to consider right here. We can move this back down because these are basically the same. And the fact is that this bottom support right here could be, you know, something to consider as a descending fractal. This is a bearish move to lower sides. Usually we tend to break out of this. So what we could consider is just more consolidation to lower levels. And this is honestly following both charts right now. So if I just take the pen and I draw something like this, we could see more movement down to potentially $6,000 before seeing that break to the upside. Now, I don't think we're going to break bearish from this. I'd be very shocked if we see consolidation and then a massive pity fall, I would call it, down to $3,000. It can definitely happen. Don't get me wrong. We can continue to follow this and break the symmetrical triangle downwards. It is definitely an option, but there's more than likely a chance for the breakout to swing us back to the upside. But regardless, either way, we do have ways to make money off this. Not only have we learned how which exchanges are best with the lowest fees, we've also learned how to actually short cryptocurrency, which I think was the biggest play that we've made here on the channel. One thing that we didn't know and that I've always been interested in, and I've known that you can short crypto, I didn't know how to, is when we discovered DueDEX account. DueDEX actually allowed me to figure out how to short cryptocurrency. And I'm not just promoting this because I've worked with them in the past. I'm promoting this because I actually genuinely like their program that they have right here. The fact that I found an account that actually lets you short cryptocurrency and make money off the way down basically opens this market. And it's open-ended right now, and we can make money off either swing. So regardless, whenever we see the first confirmation of whichever way the bull market decides to move, we'll be ready to make the most profit off of that. And that's really what I'm trying to stress right now, is in the fact that if we do see a bear market, we can still capitalize off those gains on the way to the downside. Now, obviously, if we fall lower, there's a very good chance we could hit $3,500. Very big jump all the way back down. That percentage gain would be about, I would say, all the way back down to 3,500. This would be about, wow, a 53% dip. A 53% dip definitely could happen within this coin, and vice versa. We could easily see a $13,000 Bitcoin once again. It's very up in the air, but I do think we're going to see that confirmation. This is definitely going to be a strong retest when we come back down and retest the February uptrend. This ultimately will pretty much lead the path as to whether or not we're going to be breaking up. If we can continue to hold this and see any small confirmation above the white downtrend right here, bouncing off of this support, we could be seeing higher levels being retested, an immediate retest of $9,000 around, and then we could be, you know, leading to higher movements. But we need to see this downtrend broken, closing a candle above that, and then seeing that movement to the upside. Otherwise, if we don't, and the actual uptrend is broken, you know, the one that's been holding us since February, we will be seeing lower levels, an easy retestment of $6,000. But ultimately, I don't think these prices are going to last. I do think in the long run, we're going to see that swing in 2020 that will easily be breaking $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $11,000. I do think we're headed up. It's just whether or not we're going to be doing this now, or whether or not we're going to have to be patient, wait for the bull run, and then capitalize off those movements. Regardless, like I said, DueDEX will allow us to buy long and sell short, and we're pretty much waiting on when to buy in right now. As a couple of you guys have been asking me, when is the next time to buy in? Honestly, you could make a very small play within the 4 hour if you wanted to do such extreme movements. You can see when looking at the 4 hour, there's a couple of things to pay close attention to. Obviously, the MACD is one. We're not necessarily overextended. The bull did kind of set its pace right now, so it doesn't look like we're going to see any bullish cross right now. You can see we're clearly hitting a resistance of around $7,400, which has made its point very clear. We're also below what appears to be the high-low moving average for the 4 hour. So honestly, I think we're here to stay. I think this resistance is not going to be broken, and there's a good chance we're going to see a smaller move downwards to potentially $7,000. Whether or not when you want to short that and make a couple bucks off of that is up to you. Obviously, if you want to make major moves, you have to have more leverage, but that obviously is more risk. So that's why I'm not kind of playing around with it right now. If I kind of figure out the best point to be buying in, like this major retracement was a good profit, and this spike to the upside was also a good profit, then I would recommend buying in. But as of right now, we are so close and only a couple of days away from the end point of what appears to be my symmetrical triangle, or my uptrend and resistance meeting, which literally ends in, I would say, about like I said, 15 to 20 days from now will be the ultimate benefactor as to whether or not we're going to be breaking up. Obviously, we're going to retest off of this. We could be potentially falling down, and the movement from $7,200 all the way to $6,200 will be a great profit as well. Obviously, for those who have me on Patreon, I will be updating you guys as well as for whether or not that's going to break. Otherwise, to spend a little bit more time on the other cryptocurrencies, XRP and vice versa. If you wanted to know more about XRP, basically, we're in the same sort of scenario. I'll just jump onto the weekly. This, I feel like, helps us a little bit better. We've been tracking a downtrend. We've been tracking a descending triangle. And, the thing is that XRP does correlate with Bitcoin quite nicely. And in the fact that, we do have a big difference in channels. We do have the same downtrend, though. That's the one thing that we can consider is the downtrend is here. The thing that's different is we do set lower lows on Bitcoin compared to XRP. XRP has pretty much been hugging support for the longest time, which ultimately ends up showing some sort of descending triangle, which could be breaking fairly soon. Towards the beginning of 2020 is basically when we could be seeing the spike. Now, I do think that Bitcoin could lead or could be the spark to the XRP bull run. If we do see consolidation and we do seem to hold the 20-cent barrier, we could be seeing an immediate retracement all the way up to 40 cents, retesting the high-low MMA, and there is, room for us to hit a 92-cent XRP fairly soon. Now, obviously, this could open us gains all the way up to 370%, which would be absolutely phenomenal, but it would take quite some time now. It's basically riding on whether or not we're going to be holding the 20-cent gain or the 17 to 16% support on XRP. Once we confirm which one of those is possible, and once we see some sort of closing weekly candle above the white downtrend, then we'll know whether or not the bull run has been started, and we'll eventually head back up. Otherwise, that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video. I know we didn't talk much about Ethereum, but Ethereum and Litecoin are basically also in descending fractals. So for the most part, the market, except for XRP, but Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin are all in descending fractals, heading lower and lower and lower. So right now, we're pretty much just waiting on some sort of confirmation as to when we could be, breaking to the upside. Ethereum is testing the bottom support right here. Bitcoin is testing kind of the middle zone, and Litecoin is also testing somewhat in the middle zone. We've clearly hit bottom support right here, and now we're kind of trending sideways. So I can extend these even lower, basically telling us when the next breakout could be. Same thing with Bitcoin and Ethereum, also retesting bottom place right here. We're kind of trending outside. There's a really good chance we're going to see this consolidation continue, maybe a retest of 166, which would ultimately send us down. But we're basically waiting on those movements. We could see the same thing happen within Bitcoin. Sideways trending upwards, hitting here. Once we do, it's a clear short. We could be falling all the way back down to support that back here, or we're going to see consolidation within this uptrend. But I really want to pay close attention as to whether or not this purple uptrend is going to hold. Otherwise, guys, that's going to sum up today's video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.